Merry meet and bright blessings, my beloved family in paganism. It is truly an honor to be at one with you once more. And I'm feeling pretty good today. I'm laid back and taking it easy. And I really hope the day is going just as good for each of you. I really do. Today, I have a question from a subscriber. And, I feel that all the questions that I'm getting now, they're becoming so extensive, or I feel so inclined to go into it in such deep detail that it requires so much typing, and so I thought, well, I need to start putting some of these, even if it's just one, putting it into videos, because it will be the last time I ever have to answer that question. And from there, I can just refer people over to that video, or people would just find it. Because if one person is asking the question, chances are out of the 2,000 present subscribers that I've got, there are 500 others that want to know the same thing. And so, really, I do value your questions. I really do appreciate them for a fact, and I'm pretty sure a lot of the other subscribers appreciate the questions too, because if I do a video based around your questions, a lot of people are going to get theirs answered without having to even ask it whatsoever. I feel that there is no question that is less than any other question that anybody else could ask. I feel that your question, your one small question, is as valuable as an entire show. And you'll see that here in a minute, because I'm fixing to do a complete show based around one question from Adrian CB, a subscriber to the channel, and I hope you don't mind me saying your name on the show. I really hope I'm not overstepping a boundary there. But I like to honor you guys as much as I possibly can and show you the respect that I feel is due you. Okay? So, I'm going to answer your question here today, Adrian, and I feel that it's a very good one, actually. Alright, Adrian is asking me, says, "Good evening, I have a question for you, please. Must everything you have on your altar be consecrated before it is used? Candles, bowls, tools, ? If so, must a circle be cast just for these consecrations? Thank you." I guess that was 2 questions, Adrian says, which is quite alright. Thank you again for helping a fledgling new to the craft. Well, a lot of people are new to the craft watching the show. That's why they come. A lot of people have been doing it for a long time, but like an objective opinion or to get advice on something that's new to them in crossing. I love talking to all of you guys, and you guys are great. But I'm going to answer this topic here, which I guess is really a couple of questions, but it's summed up by one, maybe 2 fair ideas, okay, that really will put it into perspective for you. I have faith in that. Okay, first off, you should look at it as being 3 boxes. One box inside of another, because each box is just slightly larger than the last. And I'm talking about your temple place being your largest box, your circle being your mid-sized box, and your altar being your small-sized box. And actually, they fit into each other just like that, and that's why I use that particular simile. Let's not forget that everything does have to be charged likewise with the energy of the god and goddess. It has to be told what it's for, has to be explained to what direction it goes to, or what emotion it's ruled by, how it should fulfill a position within your place. All of this is very, very important. And, after all of this is said and done, you can take it and you can place it on a fence post outside a wood one preferably, you know, a fence post where it can soak up all of the moon's energy, you know, and make sure there's no tree branches over it or anything like that. Just right directly into the moonlight. And it needs to be a full moon. One of the 3 phases of the moon, and the ones that are preferably, is either the fullest moon or the moon before it, but not the 3rd moon. Okay? That's whenever it's already starting to wane. The energy is there and it could do it. So, you know, and with me, I actually, when I did my altar tools, I actually used all 3 of the moons. I set them out every night and I brought them in and I wrapped them up every day. And then took them back out and set them out there the next night until the 3rd moon was finished and complete, and then I didn't take them out anymore. Okay? But this is what you would do with your altar tools if you have a temple place. And you need not have to cleanse or consecrate them ever again. As long as they stay within that temple place, nobody invades your sanctuary. I mean, that's the main thing right there. Then they will be okay. Now, for those of you that has an altar that must stay in one place, you would cleanse and consecrate your item. You would anoint it, and you would charge it, and then you would let it take its place on the altar. If you know that nobody will ever mess with it, you can leave your altar in the same place. And this being, if you create a circle around it whenever you do rituals or what, your items that go on the altar need to be cleansed, purified, and kind of dedicated over to yourself. That's the main objective here. You need to make it your own. You need to tell the gods and goddesses what position it fills with you. You need to tell it that it's to draw a kindrence with yourself. Anyway, as long as nobody touches those things, they are okay, you know, while on your altar. But they're not on a cleansed or consecrated circle, so I wouldn't leave them out necessarily. I take mine out and I actually wrap them in cloths that I make, such as this one. Here is the wrap that I made for my altar pentagram, my tablet that goes on my altar. It is a silk pouch that has a flap top, and you slide the pentagram inside. You fold that over, and then I have bands that go around it that holds it closed. And I'm going to put some Velcro tabs on each side to help keep it closed. But my pentagram actually rests in this, and it actually closes. I got myself a sewing machine just so that I could do this. Now, after you've made, I'll go into those on another video, but you should really think about silk wraps that are the color to that object. Notice this is green, and it is for my pentagram towel. It is for my pentagram towel. And it slides right in there every time I get through with it. And so it stores its energy. And after I put all my tools in their silk wraps that are corresponding to their direction, then I stick all of those in a trunk that is lined with silk. Okay? And so they definitely store their energy the way I do it. And I'll go into that more on a video in the future. But if you're not in a temple that stays up all the time, then you do need to put your tools away every time by wrapping it in a silk wrap. That way nobody else's energy is getting into it, and it only knows you. And if anybody ever touches your tools, you need to reconsecrate them again. If you touch your tools while you're feeling negative or evil, then you need to consecrate them again. But typically, you want to consecrate them once, you want to anoint them, and you want to empower them by the moon. And then you want to store that energy so that every ritual you do with that tool from now on, it will only build in the energy that it will grow with. You know what I'm saying? And so there is the answer to that. Also, you can have a place where a circle stays up all the time, but that's very hard. People will be breaking that all the time. Beyond having a temple where your stuff can just stand there all the time and nobody ever messes with it, you're going to have to hope that nobody touches your stuff if you keep it out on an altar. If it keeps out on an altar and nobody touches it, there's no circle drawn around it, and you leave it there all the time, you may have to periodically go in and consecrate it because it is subject to the elements around it. The energies can draw on it. Negative people can draw on it just like they can other people. I suggest the silk wraps. And I've got other ones like this, and you don't have to make the pouches. You can buy several yards of just straight silk. This one is black, which is made to draw energy, and I use it for certain talismans and so forth that may want to continue drawing energy to itself, you know. And then I make silk wraps like this. This is for my wand. Notice it's yellow, corresponding with the east. It has the Velcro tabs that I said I've started putting on them. And once I put it in there, it's closed, you know. It's held closed, and until I'm ready for it again, you know, it goes there. And then, of course, little white silk bags. And I use white because it's pure, and it deflects any bad or dark energy. And this one is for any tools that I have. This is my tiger's eye pendulum. I love my tiger's eye, by the way. And tiger's eye is about seeing. It's about the all-seeing eye. And so what better? This is my oak pendant, and you may see it being worn on some of my shows. But this is a case that I made just for my jewelry. And I really do feel that you can't have enough silk wraps. And what is it, $2.33 a yard, for God's sakes? Cheap. Actually, it's kind of a satin mix. The main thing is to get a cloth that doesn't breathe. Let's see. Must everything you have on your altar be consecrated before it's used? Yes, it really should. Everything. Except for your incense and consumables. Oils, libations, etc. Let's see, must a circle be cast each time for these consecrations? No, they don't. Outside of your temple places where you need to consecrate them, the holy water should be good enough to cast anything dark and negative out. That's what it's supposed to do. And you should sage over that as well as use the holy water. And then anoint it at your door of your temple directly, you know, or if you don't have a temple and you're practicing on an altar where you have to break things down all the time, slide it into a silk wrap or package. And it don't have to necessarily correspond with the 4 directions that it is ruled by. You know, the color that the tool is ruled by, or in the direction. It don't have to be that color. I do it because it makes me feel empowered. It makes me feel that I am treating my tool absolutely with the honor that it deserves. And that's why I do the colored wraps that are corresponding to the tool. Let's see. A circle does not need to be cast every time you're doing these consecrations. Basically, do your consecration once, anoint it, and then protect the tool so that it could draw on and keep all the energy that you would create for it in the long run. You want that. You don't want to cast out any of your energy you're putting into it. And let me tell you, everybody, if you don't know this already, when you do a cleansing and a purification on any of your tools, that's expelling all energy out. Anything. It's making it pure, like a brand new baby thing. You know, something freshly made with no energy in it. You're getting rid of all of it. no matter how good the energy was. So don't go around cleansing and consecrating your tools lightly. Cleanse them and consecrate them, anoint them, empower them by the moon, and then slide them in their silk wraps, or keep them in your altar room and don't let nobody in there. That's what I suggest you to do. And I really truly hope, Adrian, that this was the utmost answer to your question that I could give you. I hope that I read your question right and that I got the details out of it that you needed. But you take care of yourself, as do the rest of you. Brightest blessings, and have a great day. Okay? Bye-bye.